Greetings, everyone. I'm glad to be on this call with you, with everyone today. Um, I'm sure we're going to get educated on many different aspects of our collective um, fight for freedom, justice, and equality here in the Americas. And that's one of the things that I'm growing more, I'm passionate about. I'm sure everyone on this phone is passionate about and all the aspects and that we can um, empower ourselves with. I know some may be talking about reparations. I'm real um, excited to hear about what's going on in with our brothers and sisters in the Caribbean. Just to know that how we can develop a united front and empower all descendants of chattel slavery. um, for me, and my suggestion is with the term Afrodescendants. It's not a erasure. It's not a change. Yet I feel though that it is extremely important that we have an identity. Our identity was taken from us. And it was given, and the identities was placed upon us by those that enslaved our ancestors. Some may say that that doesn't mean anything, identity. The Messenger Muhammad would beg to differ. He would say that identity is so important that it's a name is better than gold. And when I first heard that, and I've heard it before, I really didn't understand that. Me coming from a Muslim background, I decided to give up my name and chose the name Kamal Ashad. It was my choice. But yet, these last couple of years, I've really been looking into that when he says that a good name is better than gold. And studying him, he talks about identity. And he talks about all the different names that our slave masters have given us. And he talks about a form of unity that our name, a collective name, can give us. Even though I know I'm speaking to people, especially our brothers from Haiti, and I'm elated, just of the history of them fighting back and establishing themselves as a nation. And other places in the Caribbean as a nation. But there's over 250 million descendants of enslaved African people who go by the names that was given to us by those that enslaved us. Whether you're Cuban American or, Afro-Cuban, Afro-Brazilian, African American, just African, so on. Y'all catch my drift. In America, they refer to as black, colored. They've given us so many different names. But now it's time for us to, I think it's very important that we accept and decide on a name for us. And that was given to us, I don't know the exact year, but there was 19 delegates that represented the 19 regions in the slavery diaspora. And they decided on a term called Afrodescendants. At that time, the United Nations have given reference to that term Afrodescendants and the work of the Honorable Salas Muhammad and Queen Mashaki Muhammad in establishing that identity has been gone a long way in the eyes of those scholars. We as a people now are faced with, I use this term, what are you willing to give up to get a lot? And I say that with respect of everyone who identify what you identify as. But the reality is the world sees us as whatever we are a part of in that country. The world sees us as, in so many words, their underling. The world sees us as second-class citizens. Even though in the United States we fought for civil rights and we've gotten those things and we've got a somewhat sitting at the table, but not fully at the table. Now people in Brazil, just doing the research, they almost are like the 1960s here in the United States, where they're fighting for just to be humans. And yet, some of us may think that we have arrived in that place, but we really haven't. Because we all haven't. Some may have, but we all together have not. Some of us have decided to go to other places. It's great. But what can we do for 250 million people, descendants of chattel slavery around the world? That's what's in my heart. I think that's what's in all of our hearts. It's not just my individual freedom, but it's for freedom for all of us. Even if we think we're free, to some degree, we're not. And that's one thing that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad kept emphasizing, that we cannot help anybody until we help ourselves. And one way that we can help ourselves and start this process is to identify as Afro-descendants. Not as, like I said, erasure, but it's as a strategic identity. One that empowers 250 million people to demand whatever they want, the world that we want at our disposal. To empower us with the right to demand respect, demand reparations, unity, for those who want a nation that they can call their own, for those that want a better Haiti, for those that want to be recognized in Brazil, for those that in Jamaica, for all of us. We're all suffering from the same thing. We all have something in common that we have yet to really tap into. And that thing that we have in common is we are all descendants of chattel slavery. Although it may seem small and insignificant, it is one of the greatest things that we have as a unifier. And with our unity comes power. And I know that unity has been is on the mind of many of us, descendants of chattel slavery. How do we unify? Some may say, well, I have to join this particular organization, or I have to join that particular organization. But it's not joining anybody's ideology that unifies us. The easiest way that we can show the world that we are a unified people is through one term, Afro-descendants. that term Afrodescendants can go a long way. It can cut out a bunch of the things that keeps us divided as a people. So we stand here today at a turning point in history. For centuries, our people have been called by many names, names not of our choosing, names placed upon us by who enslaved our ancestors. These names were tools of division, designed to keep us scattered, powerless, and disconnected from one another and from our true history. But today we can declare ourselves something different. We can affirm that we are one people and one collective identity. The descendants of chattel slavery in the Americas. And together we have chosen a name that unifies us, that unites us. A name rooted in our shared history, our undeniable right for justice. And I say to you all today, I won't be long. This is a subject that I can talk about for days. We can get down the lines of the specifics of it, but just to keep it simple, when you go back into your communities and when you talk about unity of descendants of chattel slavery, use the term Afro-descendants. Express to the people that it's a unifier. It's also for us in the United States when they're trying to erase our history, they're trying to belittle what has happened to us and place us again inside of a category. Using that term is a means to fight back against our oppressors. It's a way in which not only a group of us can do, but it's a way that we can empower, like in the Americas, in the United States, 42 million people. Done the right way, it may seem like a daunting task, but it can be as easy as we like if we put the right people behind it. And you as a leader today, all that I'm asking to you is maybe we can have some dialogue concerning that new identity. And we can talk about all the things in which that new identity has in store for us, the endless possibilities that we can achieve. Reparations will not be an issue anymore because Afro-descendants is our unifier. Like I said, it's more than just a word. It's more than just a title. Afro-descendant is a banner of unity, a declaration of self-determination, and a key that unlocks the door of power that have long been closed to us. And that's what I want. I want to feel, embrace the power of 250 million descendants of chattel slavery, who, as I said before, have a shared history that we haven't tapped into because we've been divided. And we've been divided by our identity. And it's on us, as I would say, is a giver's gain. What are we willing to give up to gain everything in our power that we want and desire to have? So think about that and think about the opportunities that we can have if we create a movement that empowered the power of 250 me people demanding the right for reparations, the right for freedom, the right for justice, the right for equality. It will be unstoppable. Like I said, I do not thank you for your time and thank you for your consideration. I hope that we can have an open dialogue about this particular point as we move forward in our fight, in our struggles for liberation. Thank you.